Do nothing. Just stop. For a moment, stop running. Stop fighting. Stop trying to force life into the shape you think it should be. Because maybe all this time, it's not life that needs to change, it's your relationship with it. Sometimes, the harder you push, the more everything resists you. The more you struggle to control, the more you feel trapped. And in that struggle, something sacred inside you starts to fade. You forget what it feels like to simply exist, to breathe without urgency, to look at life without judgment, to just be. Carl Jung once said that, what you resist, not only persists, but grows stronger. And the older you get, the more you see how true that is. The more you resist pain, the more it clings to you. The more you fight uncertainty, the more it multiplies. Life has this strange way of mirroring your energy back at you. What you run from follows. What you grasp it slips away. So what happens if you stop? If you stop resisting, stop analyzing, stop trying to fix what isn't broken or force what's not ready? It sounds simple, but it's terrifying, isn't it? To do nothing when everything in you screams for control. To trust silence when the mind demands answers. To surrender when fear says, you'll fall apart if you let go. Yet this is exactly where Jung found his deepest wisdom. When his world collapsed after his break with Freud, he lost everything that gave his life meaning. His reputation, his certainty, even his sense of self. For years he was swallowed by inner chaos. Strange dreams haunted him. Visions of floods, of fire, of gods and ancient symbols filled his nights. He thought he was losing his mind. But instead of escaping, he stayed. He didn't numb it. He didn't run to distractions or work. He turned inward. He described that time as a confrontation with the unconscious. He let the storm wash through him. He drew the images, wrote what he saw, and let them speak. He called this process active imagination. And in that sacred space of doing nothing, of pure listening, his greatest discoveries were born. The collective unconscious, the archetypes, the shadow, all emerged not from effort, but from stillness, from surrender. You see, we are raised to believe that stillness is wasted time, that silence is emptiness, that doing nothing is laziness. But Jung would say that silence is where your soul begins to speak. That stillness isn't the absence of life, it's where life renews itself. When you do nothing, you stop interfering with the natural flow of existence. You stop demanding answers and begin receiving them. Because the truth doesn't arrive through noise or panic. It arrives quietly, like dawn breaking over a restless sea. Jung often said that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But to become who you truly are, you first have to stop trying to be who you think you should be. And that begins with stillness. The modern world teaches us the opposite. We are addicted to movement, to noise, to doing. We scroll, we plan, we work ourselves to exhaustion. We fill every silence with distraction because stillness confronts us with the parts of ourselves we've buried. The fear, the grief, the loneliness, the doubt. But Jung would remind you that these shadows aren't enemies, they are messages. Each emotion you've been avoiding carries a truth about your life. The more you chase escape, the louder they become. The more you sit with them, the softer they speak. When you do nothing, when you finally sit still, the unconscious begins to unfold like an ancient map. You start to see where your wounds came from. You start to recognize your patterns, the way you repeat what hurt you, the way you seek love in familiar pain, the way you sabotage what could heal you. Jung taught that the unconscious will direct your life until you make it conscious, and you will call it fate. Doing nothing is how you start making it conscious. Because only in stillness can you see what's been moving you all along. Imagine a lake on a windy day. Its surface is disturbed, restless, chaotic. You can't see what lies beneath. But when the wind stops, the surface settles. Suddenly, the reflection appears. The truth was always there, it just needed quiet. That's what happens to your mind when you stop forcing things. The reflection of who you truly are begins to emerge. Your intuition awakens. Your heart begins to whisper truths you couldn't hear before. Jung himself often retreated to his stone tower in Bollingen, far from society, far from the noise. He built it with his hands, stone by stone, without any clear plan. He said it was a living symbol of his soul, a place where he could listen to himself without interference. There, he lived simply. He chopped wood, cooked his own food, watched the water move. He called it a return to the primitive man within him. He found peace not in doing more, but in doing less. He found clarity not in seeking, but in allowing. This is what it means to do nothing, in the way Jung meant it. It doesn't mean apathy or giving up on life. It means surrendering to its deeper intelligence. It means learning to trust that the same force that makes the trees bloom and the tides rise is also guiding your path. Even when you can't see it, you don't need to fight life. You need to trust its timing. You don't need to fix every emotion. You need to feel them. You don't need to chase love. You need to become still enough to receive it. Because doing nothing is not the absence of action. It's the presence of awareness, and awareness changes everything. Think about the last time you tried to force something, a relationship, a job, a decision. Remember how it felt. The anxiety, the exhaustion, the constant overthinking. You tried to make it fit, to push it into place. But the more you tried, the worse it got. And then, maybe one day, you gave up, you let go, you stopped caring for a moment. And suddenly things began to move. The solution appeared. The person called. The opportunity came. Not because you fought harder, but because you stopped resisting. That's the quiet magic Jung understood. The psyche heals itself when you stop trying to control it. Life reorganizes itself when you stop interfering. But to reach that trust, you must walk through a very human fear, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of not knowing, the fear that if you stop trying, everything will fall apart. And yet, that's the paradox. Things often fall apart precisely because we keep forcing them. Jung said that people don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. You cannot do that while running. You can only do it when you stop. So, what does doing nothing look like in everyday life? It means resisting the urge to fill every silence with noise. It means sitting with discomfort instead of escaping it. It means trusting the timing of your life when nothing seems to be happening. It's lying awake at night heart heavy, and instead of spiraling into anxiety, simply breathing, saying to yourself, "It's okay. I don't need to have the answers right now." It's waking up and not rushing into distraction, but taking a moment to watch the morning light touch the walls, to feel your presence before the day begins. It's sitting in pain without trying to make it vanish, because pain, when accepted, transforms into wisdom, but pain resisted turns into suffering. Doing nothing means letting life breathe through you again, letting yourself be guided instead of always steering. The truth is, you will not miss what's meant for you, no matter how long it takes, no matter how still things seem right now. Life has a way of circling back to what belongs to you, but you can't receive it if you're too busy chasing it. When you do nothing, you create space. And in that space, grace enters. Look back on your life. Think of the moments you felt lost, hopeless, uncertain. Somehow, life found a way to guide you through, not because you planned it perfectly, but because something inside you kept you moving, one breath at a time. You didn't need to know how. You just needed to allow. This is the secret Jung lived by. He trusted the unconscious, the part of you that knows without knowing, the part that whispers when logic fails, the part that belongs to something greater than your individual story. We try so hard to control what's uncontrollable, to protect ourselves from pain, to plan every detail of the unknown. But Jung would remind you, the unknown is where the soul grows. The unknown is where you meet yourself. Doing nothing means allowing the unknown to unfold without resistance. It means meeting life without the armor of expectation. It means seeing that every struggle, every silence, every detour is not an interruption, but an initiation. Jung once wrote that every transformation begins in chaos, and that's what your stillness does. It holds space for chaos to transform. The pieces fall apart not to destroy you, but to rearrange you into something truer. So when everything in your life feels uncertain, when the world feels heavy and nothing makes sense, pause. Don't rush to fix it. Don't drown in distraction. Just sit. Let the pieces scatter. Because one day you'll look back and realize it was never falling apart. It was falling into place. The relationship that ended made space for one that truly sees you. The job you lost pushed you toward your purpose. The silence you feared became the doorway to peace. Jung knew this pattern well. After years of deep inner work, he emerged not as a man broken by darkness, but as one reborn through it. He said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." That's the transformation that happens when you stop resisting. When you stop fighting what is, life starts flowing through you again. And this is the paradoxy. Doing nothing often changes everything. Because it's not about withdrawal, it's about alignment. You align yourself with the deeper rhythm of existence, and that rhythm begins to move you toward what's meant for you. You begin to notice that life doesn't need to be controlled, it needs to be trusted. That love doesn't need to be forced. It needs to be allowed. That healing doesn't require effort. It requires presence. Doing nothing is the ultimate act of faith. Faith that your soul knows the way home. Faith that the universe is not against you, but guiding you. Faith that when the time is right, everything will unfold as it must. So, if you're standing in that strange in-between space right now, where nothing seems to be happening, where everything feels uncertain, remember this stillness is not stagnation, it's sacred preparation. The universe is not silent because it forgot you. It's silent because it's working behind the scenes. It's aligning the threads of your life in ways you can't yet see. So, breathe. You don't have to fix anything right now. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to fight your way forward. Just be here. Let go of the urgency. Do nothing, and watch how everything quietly begins to rearrange itself. Because when you finally stop chasing what's not meant for you, what is meant for you has room to find you. And maybe, just maybe, that's what Jung wanted you to understand all along. That stillness is not the opposite of progress. It's the soil from which true growth is born. That surrender isn't defeat. It's the doorway to transformation. You don't need to rush your becoming. The self unfolds in its own time. Your task isn't to force it, it's to allow it. So sit with yourself. Let your breath be your anchor. Let silence be your teacher. And let life reveal itself one quiet moment at a time. Do nothing. Trust deeply. And watch how, slowly but surely, everything begins to fall into place. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to breathe and reflect. Subscribe for more reflections inspired by the timeless wisdom of Carl Jung. And when you're ready, watch the next video. The most dangerous sign in a person according to Carl Jung. It will help you recognize the subtle ways the unconscious shapes your destiny. Until then, stay still, stay open, and let life move through you, just as it always has.